Hey, have you checked out that new Cyberpunk Edgerunners show?
No, I haven't checked it out yet. But isn't that an anime?
I mean, technically. But, dude, let me tell you, it's so good.
It was good? But doesn't that make you more of a weeb?
What? No! It can't! There's no way watching Edgerunners makes me a weeb. Unless... Am I really just suppressing who I truly am? Is this really me? Am I... a weeb?
Can't deny your fate anymore, Bryan. You're a weeb. Baka.
I knew it!
Recording at 12920 Philadelphia Street, Whittier, California at Undercity Comics. Keeping Up with the Nerds presents issue 115. My name is Bryan.
Nick.
Rene.
And welcome to the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 115.
Sure.
It's 115.
115. Out of everyone here, we're not going to rely on you.
I'm just asking a question.
I know. It's a good question. Nick, good question. Thank you very
you.
much. Thank you.
Thank you. Do I get a treat?
You get a high five.
Get a nice
You get a
high
little
five.
finger high five.
Do I get an I get it.
Ooh,
Yeah, I get an ET finger. I get ET tonight.
Elliot.
All right, before we lose any audience retention, guys, welcome to Keeping Up with the Nerds. If you guys don't know, we're podcasts where we talk about all the nerdy stuff in the world. Comic books, TV shows, movies, video games.
You know, who wants to watch another nerdy podcast?
Exactly. Come to us. Watch us. Why? Because we have a website, keepingupwiththenerds.com. If you are not familiar with it, go check it out. Keepingupwiththenerds.com. Follow our socials at Keeping Up with the Nerds as well. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Go like that. You know? If you're listening to us on an audio platform, because that's where you found us, check out our YouTube, Keeping Up with the Nerds. We have videos of all the podcasts so you can see everyone's beautiful faces here. Renee's, Nick's,
The crazy person.
me.
Hostile person. More like hostile.
But if you are
Very
driving around, working out, you know,
Or in the shower.
or in the shower.
You know what the funny thing is? I haven't talked to Lewis in a hot minute. So I
Yeah.
don't know if he's heard an episode where he's in the
Where we're
shower.
just name dropping.
and then like he gets a name drop of like,
Yeah.
I know you're in the shower, buddy.
Hey, Lewis. Go check us out on audio platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Podbean, and leave a review if you guys like, or, you know, like what you guys heard or saw. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, we have an action-packed issue for you today. No comic strips.
No comics?
No comic strips. What?
It's a very dull week.
Not a dull week. It was a dull week last week.
It was. We kind of like,
We made D23 sound cooler than it was.
yeah.
Ooh. Drama.
Yeah.
No, because D23 was pretty lame. It's pretty lame. Like
wasn't- yeah.
after like I listened to our episode and I was like, oh yeah, like that sounds like really cool stuff.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been really cool. I get it. And then I was like, oh okay, whatever.
Massive drama in the convention scene because not only was D23 taking place,
Yeah.
State of Play, Ubisoft Forward, Tokyo Game Show, a couple other things as well. We're going around. A couple other conventions.
Yeah, there was a lot of conventions that were going on.
Yeah. So we'll be talking about that, see what the hype is around all that, because there's a lot of news that came out in the last couple of days. Alongside that, She-Hulk Watch. We're going to be talking about that. Y'all saw that episode, right?
No. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, exactly. I was
gonna
going to see that with a straight face. See what
Man,
happens.
that binged Cyberpunk in one night.
Oh,
and then
did
Cobra Kai did not watch the new episode of She-Hulk.
I did actually. I did binge
I
Cyberpunk.
call bullcrap.
I did finish Cyberpunk in a day.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk. We're also going to be talking about Cyberpunk Edgerunners, the new anime series that is on Netflix that, oh my God,
So is it
is
just
so
like
gorgeous.
all the characters are like edging themselves, or what? Is that?
No.
It's
They're edge runners.
They're like running around.
They're just edging the entire time. No.
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
That's
mean,
the premium one. You
Think
have to
of
pay for that.
think of like technology as like the perfect high.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. Before we start talking about one of these topics, guys, how was your guys' week?
Not too bad.
I'm getting ready for my trip.
Yeah? Where are you going?
I told you, Philly.
Philadelphia?
Yeah, I'm beyond.
But you're not born and raised.
No. But I am hoping to get into a little bit of trouble.
With what? Some guys that were up to no good?
Yeah.
Starting trouble in...
ball.
Yeah, I'm literally gonna go to Philadelphia. I'm gonna take a basketball. And I'm gonna really hope I get adopted by the Bankses. That's how that works.
And I'm going to make a better series. I'm going to make a better series than the Peacock version, all right? Executive produced by Will Smith. Just don't make him slap you, please.
Dude,
Just
I
get
want
your
him to
wife's
slap. What are you
name
talking
out of
about?
his mouth. That's it.
Wait, what are you talking about? I want him to slap me, dude. You know how much that lawsuit would be?
That's true.
Money.
Are
Are you good?
That's the lawsuit. Yeah.
All right.
Have you watched Bel Air?
No.
It's terrible.
I know. That's why I don't want to watch
Yeah,
it.
you told me about that.
I've got other things to watch.
Dude, Marlon Wayans plays his dad.
That's crazy. I still can't fathom that. Like Marlon Wayans playing that type of character.
Yeah.
You know, not just like the quirky, funny dude. You know, that
Yeah,
just
yeah.
screams really high. You know.
He's like, yeah, it's not great.
Renee, how was your week? What'd you do? What interesting things have you done this week?
I've started playing Resident Evil 2, the remake.
Oh, finally.
It was only $15 on PlayStation Plus.
They're selling a lot of stuff for cheap right now.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, hop on that. Because I recently replayed Resident Evil 5, and I keep forgetting how terrible that game is.
That game was good. Don't
You like that
speak blasphemy.
It's
really
not, no, because it was like the turning of, okay, you know,
It went from horror to
to
action horror.
It's because
And
you
then-
didn't get the jungle Shiva. That's why.
Yeah, dude.
Leopard Shiva. That's why.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, dude! The
No.
amount of hours spent to try to get that costume.
I thought you were gonna say something totally.
No,
hours spent just looking at that costume.
different. Jiggle, jiggle.
And bro, he was edging on that, too.
That's how we get to Edgerunner. That's how we go sweep into that.
But no, I was playing it, and then I was like, you know what? I keep hearing that Resident Evil 2 is really well done and really well made, and I
Yeah.
was like, you know what? I'll check it out. I was more afraid of. I know that the puzzles are more. You know, you have to do them on your own. There's
Yeah.
no hint.
Yeah.
You have to figure stuff out on your own.
Yeah.
And that's one of the pleasures I had in the game was I didn't have to rely on clues. I had to do my own searching. The one thing I did get afraid of was Mr. X. Every time I hear that guy walking around, I'm just like super afraid. He's just
so
like,
it's
he's
funny to
gonna
see.
pin slap me and stuff. And I'm just like, oh.
It's so funny to see that Capcom right now is making their money off of a lot of remasters and
Yeah.
remakes because I didn't even realize this over the last like maybe 5 years. They've remade all the Mega Man series. So they've done the Legacy Collection for the original Mega Man, the X Collection, the ZX Collection. They're just going to release the Battle Network Collection next year, and then Resident Evil 2, 3 remake.
And 4's coming out.
4's coming out.
I'm super excited for that.
What
4 is my
new
favorite.
IPAs do they have? Or IPs,
Street Fighter.
not IPAs.
Oh yeah, the Street Fighter IPA.
What would that taste like? Is that a hoppy one? Sweat.
Just
It'd be,
pure-
what is it called? A hazy? A hazy IPA.
Be a hazy IPA. Yeah.
And I feel like if they really want to like tune in with their fans, it'd be like, oh, Chung Lee's bathwater.
What?
You're just like, what?
What?
That is definitely a way.
Oh, yes, please.
I don't want that.
Right? It's all just clear and hazy. And Weave's like, oh.
Nah, it's good that you're getting back into Resident Evil.
No, it's fun. I love it. I'm haven't finished it yet, but it's
Getting
been
there.
super fun, and I can't wait to get Resident Evil 3.
You know, a game actually does need another need a remake and like kind of like re-elevating it to the 4K and high def. Silent Hill.
Yes.
Silent Hill.
Silent Hill's a
What?
tough one, though.
Is that
Silent-
Capcom?
No.
it's another.
Who is
It's
that?
another studio.
Konami?
I think
Oh,
it
is
is a
it
Konami
Konami?
game, but the thing is that for Silent Hill, I feel like the first two are so good. They're near perfect games.
So,
That just like revamping them with like a little bit of like newer mechanics and better graphics to that game, that game would sell.
The problem I have with remasters is that some of these publishing companies, some of these developers, they just grab the assets from the original game, polish it, and then redistribute it like that.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
And then
They
you have
won't
the
go like completely remake the whole thing.
yeah, and then
from
there's
scratch.
games like Naughty Dog. They just released the remastering of The Last of Us.
Yeah, for the PS5.
But that's even getting some backlash because they're charging $70 for a game that came out
Same thing with
like what, years and years and years ago.
But here's the thing though, for everything that has to do with that, Sony doesn't understand its own market. It really doesn't.
It kind of does, but I can agree with you to some extent.
No, they don't, because they didn't realize that a game that I already own, because they've done that twice already. They did that with the Ghost of Tsushima, which it came out as 60.
That's right.
Then it came out as 80 and 4K, and you had to buy the $80 version in order to get the 4K version. Then you also, and then now this. So there's a lot of these like little tiny mix-ups. Whereas if you go to Microsoft or one of those, if you go to Microsoft, they're going, "Oh, do you own the game already? Oh, that's fine. Okay, it's a like a 15 gig update, but
We'll do it for like $15 or something.
free." No, they're doing
Some
it
of
for
them,
free.
some of them are. I know. Okay, and this would be a good transition into the next topic. But Cyberpunk did that very well because Cyberpunk does that with. They did that if you bought the old edition, like from the former generation.
Yes.
You get a free upgrade in the next one.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's still a thing.
it is.
Is it?
Yeah, because
they do.
Yeah, they were doing it for. They did it for Halo. They did it for Gears. When Gears came out, if you had the original disc, they would then upconvert it. There was that's what
I think they
Microsoft's
did that
been
for
doing.
Spider-Man too.
And then that's also the
Spider-Man was Sony, but
Spider-Man was Sony. But the thing that's interesting,
Spider-Man's cheaper. I think that's what they did. Yeah.
But the problem is that Sony keeps doing that. Like I seriously do feel that Spider-Man Miles Morales should not have been a $60 game.
No.
It's like a 40 from what a lot of people were
I
saying.
think if it was like a $30 to $40 game, that's reasonable.
That's what I think.
That
But
is
you
not
know,
$60. It's not a $60 game.
It does that. Sony is adopting that $70 game market now.
Yeah, but you can't do that when your competitor is going out. If you spend $14, I'll give you the game for free.
Get a membership for $15. You get access to a game or a library full of games for your console and your PC.
I will
Yep.
say this: I don't like that now Sony is doing like the premium PlayStation Plus tiers. Now you get to choose from 3 different ones, and it's like, more expensive. It's like $100 for the top tier one, where you get like all access to these games and stuff. And I'm
So
just like,
Sony had the biggest victory in terms of naming its consoles 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But now it's overcomplicating itself with that membership price because Xbox has 2 tiers. There's Xbox Game Pass, which is gold, and Game Pass for your console. Then there's Game Pass Ultimate, which is $14.99 per month, gold, Xbox Game Pass for your console and PC. 2 different brands or two different tiers.
And then I think it's like an extra $15 if you want to connect it to EA and Ubisoft.
Don't understand why Sony does that. Overcomplicates its things.
The thing that I thought was really funny was when when they went to go buy Call of Duty, because Microsoft is now trying to acquisition Call of Duty.
They have it.
Yeah,
They have Activision.
Well, they have Activision, but the thing is that now they're arguing, saying they can't put it on Game Pass. Like they're trying to say you can't do it.
You're reading that wrong. They said that they can put it on Game Pass. The thing is that Sony is fighting back by making it saying that they're going to disassociate themselves with Sony completely, and they don't want that because they're alienating their gamer pool,
But why
right?
wouldn't you?
Which doesn't make any sense. Like I don't think that's the goal for Microsoft because one of the biggest examples there is Minecraft. Minecraft you can play on PC, you can play on the Switch, you can play on PlayStation, you can play on Xbox, you can play on a phone. It's available everywhere, but Microsoft owns Minecraft.
But
So Call of Duty can do the same thing.
the thing is that it's kind of like porn. No.
No,
oh,
yeah, go ahead.
Hold on. It's, no.
You
Because
piqued my interest now.
No. Because it was
You're
very.
saying?
It's very much in like the aspect of console wars to device wars. like when you had the HD DVD compared to the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
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 Porn is what really set it apart because everybody was kind of going, whatever porn picks, that's going to be the standard across the board.
serious?
Yeah.
That's
what happened.
That's
why
how you got Blu-ray.
Yeah, that's why Blu-ray became a successful thing.
Because
Prawn
pictures-
pushed the success of Blu-ray.
Yeah.
That's history.
That was
they said
the
that they said they were
deciding
only-
factor.
Yeah, they
so
said
I got to
that they're
look this up
only
in
gonna be
incognito mode because I don't want prawn to be on my search history.
Blu-ray. Why?
It's not already?
No.
What?
What?
No.
Every
That's weird.
Yeah. Now that's the weird part. That's the weird thing.
Yeah.
No, but I do have to. I think Activision, this Activision acquisition, and also if you were just to say Call of Duty is on Xbox, and that's it, and it's on Game Pass. Nonetheless, you've killed PS5.
True. I mean, they're already doing that to themselves. They're already increasing the price of it, and it's not even available anywhere. I still can't get a PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
I think I have better luck getting an Xbox Series X.
Well, they upped
You
the
do.
price now in other countries, but just not in the U.S.
Yeah.
They upped it by
And
like
then-
$50.
and
But
they
I'm
also-
making a better
and they
investment
gave-
and,
and they-
getting myself a GPU.
And they also
RIP
did,
EVGA.
they also did a
I was just
slight
nerd
update.
talk to me.
Well, they also did a slight update to the PS5.
Oh,
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I had to
Yeah.
update that. That was a
Austin
little bit. I
Evans
was like,
did
No,
the first.
Yeah, it was interesting because I noticed that like everybody was going like, "Oh yeah, Austin!" Like,
I love how in that video Austin was just like, "It's an exclusive look because we're the first people doing it." And I'm like, "We get it. You're special, kid. We get relaxed."
no. He was upset because they took apart the Series X first,
Yeah.
and then everybody just pulled screenshots.
No, they
from
were
their-
copying his. They were pulling videos
Yeah, they
of
were-
him finding the Master Chief.
and then they were putting it in their own things.
Yeah.
And then they never gave him any credit.
Yeah. Now can we move on to the other topics that we have?
No, we can stay on porn.
Prawn. We can't say that.
Why not?
It flags us.
Really?
I think it might.
No, it doesn't.
Maybe. I don't know. I'll take
If
that
Joe
risk.
Rogan can do it,
We're not Joe Rogan though.
has a huge following.
Yeah,
he-
exactly. We don't have the multi-million-dollar
And he makes
Spotify
money,
deal.
and he makes money off.
Makes
it.
Not
money
yet.
Off of Red Ring people, yeah.
Yeah, not only that, but also which actually he's
We don't have the after death money. All right.
What money is that?
Sponsorships already and stuff. You know.
Do they have a sponsorship?
Yeah,
they do.
Who?
Yeah.
They have a beer sponsorship.
But from who?
I forget.
No, it's
It's a startup company.
yeah, it's a startup beer company.
Yeah.
They
Doesn't
kept-
matter.
they
Why
kept
are we saying their
it,
name?
yeah.
Why does it matter? We're not going to promote. They're not paying us.
No, because
no, that's it.
Because they'll complain that we didn't shout them out again.
Oh, there we go. We shout him out right now.
So what's going on?
Well, you know, our friends after death.
Yeah.
After death.
They haven't invited me and Renee on, so
That's true.
I still
So
They're
it's
not,
not-
they're not
heard
friends of
anything.
ours. until
Until
that
I meet them in
happens.
person, until they will exist until I meet them.
Until you mean.
Yeah.
like Miguel.
Miguel is a fake person. I'm telling you now.
He's an AI implanted in your head.
I don't even think he's an AI. I think
Speaking
it's
about
just-
AIs, can we talk about Cyberpunk now, please?
Sure.
Yeah.
And I'm out of the conversation from here.
No, you're in the conversation because I think Nick and I should be the ones convincing you to watch Edgerunner.
I think he was already gonna watch it.
No, because he didn't say anything in the chat. Every time I said, "Have you watched Cyberpunk?" Didn't say anything.
No.
And then you replied like a day later. He's like, "Yeah, I watched the whole thing." And I'm like, "Oh,
A day
congrats!"
later.
Yeah, like,
Was it a day
congrats,
later?
dude. Yeah,
I
it was
don't
literally
know.
a day later.
I thought it was a couple hours.
I watched
later.
3 episodes the first day it came out.
Yeah.
And then I watched the rest. I watched 3 more the next day, and then the rest today.
Well, I can't watch it this weekend because I have Mandy over. And she's
Watch it
very
together. It's a
picky.
fun show.
She's not going to watch it.
Why not?
No, she's like,
You
she's
watch
very
it.
picky.
No, I should like it.
Yeah, it's a fun show.
I'm trying to convince her to watch Daredevil, and she doesn't want to watch Daredevil.
That makes sense.
Cyberpunk.
Matt Damon or
No, the show.
oh
Yeah,
Cyber-
because Born Again's going to come out. That's why.
Cyberpunk Edgerunners. What a great show.
yeah. It's good.
So gorgeous. So well animated.
It was, as you said in the chat,
It's-
S tier.
It was S tier.
It's definitely a
it's
studio-
coded.
Listen, it's definitely a Studio Trigger show.
It is.
It looks like a Studio Trigger show, and it ends like a Studio Trigger show.
So it's a
Yeah.
Studio Trigger show.
So it's a Studio Trigger show. Yeah.
So if you're not familiar with it, Studio Trigger famously created Kill la Kill, Gurren Lagann. And then if you guys watch the Star Wars Visions, they did
They
the
did, like-
Twins.
They did the Twins.
did
And
the
they also
Twins.
did the other one with the bunny, I think. That was them.
Yeah.
They did
Was it
two. They
was it
did
the
two. of
bunny?
them.
The one, yeah, the lightsaber one with the bunny.
The two sisters.
Yeah, the two sisters. One was adopted.
Oh,
That was Studio Trigger,
that was
too.
also Studio.
Yeah, that was Studio
Yeah, but it
Trigger.
was a different form of their animation.
Yeah, it was a more. I mean, it was their style,
Yeah.
but yeah, their animation detail. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was different.
So if you guys don't want to spoil Cyberpunk Edgerunners because you guys are going to be watching it, skip over about maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's 10 episodes. Starts out kind of slow. Give it the normal. I always have the 3 episode law, the 3 episode rule. If give it 3 episodes after that, it's not your thing. It's not your thing. But I do have to admit, the show, it takes about 3 episodes to really start picking up.
It does, but I will say this. It's not your typical anime that it prolongs an origin story. It just gets straight to the point.
Okay.
This is David Martinez. He's your character.
Yes.
This is what happens. This is how he gets there. Then you spend about 4 episodes throughout that journey seeing him grow. And then the last 2 episodes, everything you've ever wanted, the outcome gets packed into that, and it's just an adrenaline rush the entire way through.
Yeah, it probably expands over 10 years.
Yes.
It's about 10 years.
You will not watch this show and not say, I kind of want that as a wallpaper somewhere or a poster, because the show is really well animated. And you can tell that they...
Studio Trigger. They know how to animate things.
But the thing is, you can tell, I don't know if this is a Studio Trigger thing, they know how to cut corners without making it seem like they cut corners in animation.
They do a lot of, what was it?
Still shots.
It's a lot of stills in the background. Where,
Yes.
like, movement will be happening in front of a still picture.
Yeah.
But it looks like it still has distance to it, or it still has dimensions. But if you really look at it, you're like, that's flat.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a part there's a part, I think it's like in the 3rd or 4th episode.
Yeah.
Main character David is talking to one of the people that he works with, another Edgerunner. His name is Maine. And the camera is angled in a position where it's behind 3 barrels, and Maine's car is behind those barrels, and Maine and David are literally like tiny specks, probably taking about 1/16 of the frame in the background, but they're not even moving.
Yeah.
And about 30 seconds of that dialogue is literally that frame. And then they go back to Maine and have the same frame, and it's just him moving his mouth, and they go back to that frame. It's just well done enough that you really don't notice and don't care, because it looks really, really good.
It passes.
Yeah, it passes. It's really well done. The story is a little bit at the beginning, because it does kind of, if you're familiar with Cyberpunk in the world, let me start by saying this, okay? Because I feel like a lot of people get offended by this one thing. People who are into Cyberpunk don't like the CD Projekt Red version of Cyberpunk because it's too extreme. Here's my thing. Cyberpunk does not have to be represented by that game itself, because there are multiple properties that represent Cyberpunk. You have Blade Runner, right? One of the most famous things out there, Blade Runner.
But that's not what they're talking about.
No,
they're talking about the actual world of Cyberpunk.
Exactly, but it's
But you're going out there.
I'm
with
going
that,
out
but-
there in terms of like the world building for the version of Cyberpunk can exist in multiple different ways, because you also have Altered Carbon's version of Cyberpunk.
True,
Yeah.
but this is that more cyber? But the thing is that when people are saying, I don't like Project Red's version of Cyberpunk, is more them going, I don't like the way that Project Red used the world of Cyberpunk.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. There's different versions of what a Cyberpunk world could look like. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not talking about the way the world looks. I'm talking about the characters and like how they moved and everything else. You're talking about it like
Yes,
it's a
Nick.
genre.
Okay, you got me in a corner. Fine, I secede. Go for it. Yes, I'm wrong. You happy?
Kind of. I mean, do I get
Rene
it?
doesn't like when his 2 dads fight, all right?
Anyway, but that's besides the point. The inside of Cyberpunk, it's really interesting because their main thing is chroming each other up.
Yeah.
Getting chromed up, where you're taking either some kind of artificial or metal, either changing out your lungs, changing out your arms, getting a full body customization, depending on what exactly it is. You can have total metallic hands, upping your stamina, upping your strength, upping everything else. And the idea of it is that the more you chrome, the more you need to use inhibitors and medicine to keep you balanced, or else your body starts to fight it, because logically, you put something that's not supposed to be inside your body starts to fight it.
Yeah.
And if you start going overboard, where there's more chrome than there is actual person, you start to lose it. The AI inside of the Chrome starts to take over, and it starts to kind of manipulate your brain, where you start hallucinating, you start going crazy.
They call it cyberpsychosis.
Yeah, you have cyberpsychosis, and there's a lot of people that are suffering from it. And it takes a special type of person to kind of fight against cyberpsychosis. Because even David has in the very beginning, his main power is he could stop time with his augments.
Oh.
Not stop time, but he can move really fast.
It's
and it's like a mixture of both, essentially.
He's slow. Okay, if anything, he's slowing down time.
Yeah.
Because he can then run. He blips, so he's basically the Flash.
Yeah.
But he can only blip maybe 10 times
Yeah.
before he gets. He just gets worn out.
Other people can usually do it 1 or 2 per day without their body collapsing, but David is special enough that he's capable of handling more stress because of those augmentations.
Right. And then,
so everyone in this world is cybernetically enhanced in some sort of way. It's just that it's your personal choice to basically say, I want to be more enhanced by having, like Nick said, iron lungs or metallic legs or guns in my arms, things like that,
or
right?
even like scythes. Like you can have like blades coming out of your arms. You can like cut people's head off. You can have like yarn, like wire, like razor wire that comes out. You can like slice people up. It's the whole thing.
So point of the story is you follow this kid David, okay? And the story starts off with him essentially being a street kid. This kid lives in the dumps of Night City, but his mom is working really hard to get him to a corp tier school, right? Because you have kind of like 3 tiers of civilizations in Night City. You have the corps, the suits, who basically are the businessmen, the money makers, the guys that control all of Night City. Then you have the street rats, which are the people that kind of live in the dumps, that kind of live in like torn down apartments and everything like that. And in the game, it kind of further on explains it, not so much in the anime. There's people that live outside of Night City that really kind of like do scrap metal chroming and stuff like that are just kind of like not really connected to the cyber world of Night City.
Yeah.
You can expand into more of this story. Basically, all of Cyberpunk in that world that CD Projekt Red created is super expansive, and it's really, really good. I would really recommend you like kind of read into it because it's really interesting. But you follow this kid who basically just doesn't feel like he fits inside this academy. Essentially, he sees his mom die, and his mom had the capabilities of living, but because they're not insured at a platinum level or have that insurance, there's this group of people, this insurance company called Trauma Team, that actually go down to certain accidents, and if you're not insured, they leave you to die. They don't care. So his mom dies in that entire process, and he kind of like has a choice. Do I go back to school and kind of like do what my mom said, wanted me to do? Or do I, follow this interesting girl I've been seeing around, which he does.
But even before his mom dies, he's always had had an affliction of having fantasies of being an edge runner, which is basically being a cyberpunk, being somebody who is like a merc, being somebody who like steals, very much an outlaw. And so he ends up finding ways to become a cyberpunk, joins a group, joins a gang. And that's like kind of like the greatest part is once he joins his new family, you start falling for all of them. They're all really great characters. They're well written. They're they all have like different personalities and different quirks and also different specialties on why they're there.
So without spoiling much of the story anymore, I think we can stop talking about the story at that point.
Yeah.
The character building in this show, like I think that Studio Trigger understood their assignment, which is you have 10 episodes to essentially explain the entire world that we have, right? For someone that's not familiar with the world of Cyberpunk, you can get in it, get out of this anime and say like, I know this world already. I want to know more. They understood that assignment of having 10 episodes of 30 minutes apiece and basically say, we're going to sell you the world. We're going to sell you the main character, but we're also going to sell you the supporting characters. And by the end of the show, you actually do care for every single person. Every single one. Not only do you care for David and Lucy, who are the 2 main ones there, but you start to understand the backstories of other ones, even the minor ones like Rebecca, who's this little girl that basically just cusses up a storm the entire time and is the big heavy machinery girl that basically just carries all the guns around and stuff like that, right? You start to care about her, and by the end of the episode, you kind of go like, oh crap, what's going on? You really are invested in that.
Okay.
It understands its assignment. I will say it's not for the faint of heart because it is very, very bloody.
It's super violent.
Yes.
There's a lot of violence, sex, and nudity. So if you're
A lot of violence, sex, and drugs.
yeah. So yeah, and drugs. Here's my thing though. I really enjoyed this mainly because if they had a season 2,
There's a season 2.
yeah, I know. But when
There'll
they,
be a season 2.
I don't need to follow these characters. You can do every season as new people in Night City,
Oh, okay.
and you can make it just as interesting.
Yeah.
Actually, if not more interesting, because now we're exploring different levels of Night City. Because now that we did a Cyberpunk, I would love it if they went with a corp guy
Yes.
in the next one, and then you kind of see
A corpo.
like a corpo dealing with what it is to be to be a corp. How
Yeah.
exactly do I deal with the Edgerunners? How do I deal with everybody else? And I think that would be really interesting.
So what's really cool about this is that when Cyberpunk first came out, the game, a lot of people's complaints about the game was that the world was super expansive, but not everything was accessible. And so what this anime does really, really well is that, which is really cool. I would say check out the subreddit for this. They've actually found the locations that the anime uses in the game.
Yes.
And Studio Trigger did not even say that they were using actual locations. So they found Lucy's apartment,
Yeah.
which is accessible, but you have to really work to get it. The fact that they're using an area that's in the game that no one really thought of, that's super cool. You can also go to the bar, and there's also a little Easter egg, apparently, that if you go, I think it's to the Afterlife bar, you can order a drink called the David Martinez, which is the name of the character there.
Okay.
So they're actually like really working to sell you on that world. And Nick is 100% right. If they do a season 2, you don't have to follow the story of these characters, but it's selling you well enough. And what's really cool about this anime is that it's getting a lot of people back into Cyberpunk, which is good. That game's dead.
So what you're saying is that you did watch an anime.
It's really good. It's really good.
He admitted it.
No, I'm not a weeb. I don't watch anime. So,
No, but they do a really good job. I really enjoyed it. It's a great world, interesting world.
does it make you want to play Cyberpunk?
It did make me want to replay Cyberpunk. I have Cyberpunk. I played it once, but I never really had a reason to go back. And
Now you do.
Even though, well, also the expansion's coming out.
Yeah.
That brand new DLC is coming out for Cyberpunk as well. Because I played it as a street rat. I have always wanted to play it as like the other two and kind of see how that develops as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm interested to go back and playing Cyberpunk.
Did you see the Cyberpunk Instagram account?
No.
They teased that Lucy might be coming in.
As a character?
Yeah, because I
Can
guess
go to the moon?
maybe.
That'd be kind of cool.
Oh my God,
That'd be kind of cool.
Rene, can you watch it?
Yes.
Stop with your stupid answers. Yes, no. Tell me. Are you Rene? Tell me.
Yes.
Are you gonna watch it?
He just the problem is that if it was a this is definitely a show he can't watch in the shop. Like you can't.
Nah, you can't do
This
it.
is a show he definitely can't watch in the
There's
shop.
too many boobies.
Boobies.
Yeah, it's like every episode, dude. You're just like, what? I did that mistake at work. I was watching it at work,
Yeah, on
and then
your
it's
phone?
literally like the first 5 minutes because they give them I forget what it's called, but it's like they're able to like have immersion simulations inside of their heads.
It's a deep dive.
A deep dive, that's what it is. And so he's in there, and I guess the doc that gave him one of the deep dives was trying to show him something, but he accidentally inserted porn into his head, and so it's literally porn, and he's watching it, and I'm at work going like, nope, never mind, hiding this now.
Please tell me you had headphones in.
I did, thankfully, because they got really loud. I was like, oh shoot, no. It's a good show. Have we convinced you to watch it?
Yes.
I hate you so much. Can you look at Nick and give him the same answer?
Yes.
I believe him.
Shut up. It's a good show.
I'll watch it on my weekend. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm off Monday and Tuesday.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, dude.
You'll get through it. It's 4 hours long. It's
4
pretty
hours,
good.
25 minutes a piece on episodes. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
super easy.
Really, really good. And tell us what you think about it, because oh my God, it's really, really good.
Well, I finally got down watching Critical Role because he kept telling me what.
Yeah.
But it was good.
It was good. I actually like Critical Role. I'm
Look,
excited for the next season.
I
Yeah.
don't watch anime, and if I'm telling you to watch something, then you know it's good.
Yeah, that's true.
You got bad taste.
She made a noise over there.
You missed.
I know.
I wasn't even paying attention. You missed.
It's a good one.
Okay.
I would say you recommend. I would really highly recommend watching this show. It was one of the. Oh man, I haven't done this. By the end of the anime, I literally started clapping because I'm just like, that's how you end something. That is how you end a story.
Clapping.
Yeah, I was just like,
At work, he's all.
I would have done it. I would have did a standing ovation.
You mean he's
We're like,
Shia
let's do
LaBeoufing
it.
it?
Yeah.
I really wish you were Shia LaBeoufing it, where you just. I want that. That's what I want. I want that.
Guys, go check out Cyberpunk Edgerunners on Netflix. Good anime. We can
Yeah.
all recommend it over here except Rene, because he'll be watching it this week. But maybe there is something you watched this week, right?
Yes.
What'd you watch this week?
She-Hulk.
Oh, we talking about She-Hulk watch?
She-Hulk
She-Hulk watch? Oh.
Turning it long.
Before we get into She-Hulk,
Oh, God.
I did watch Clerks 3 because you
Oh,
both
yeah.
didn't watch it.
No.
You both haven't seen it. It's really good.
Okay.
It's a great ending of the what was it, of the Jersey saga.
Really?
Yeah,
Like it
dude.
feels like that's like the cap
No,
on
it's
it.
it's the that's the linchpin.
Surprise,
That's-
Kevin Smith comes out. Clerks Reborn.
No. Like even in the movie, like after because so
Like
it was
even like capping on what is it? Jay and Silent Bob.
done.
Wow.
Yeah, the Jersey saga is over.
Dang.
They were it was really funny because me and my buddy were we watched the movie, and then as soon as we finished it we were like, all right, cool. We like the trailers were playing, and then we were talking about the movie in the theater, and we were just waiting for the trailers to play, and we were like, all right, cool. Well, the trailers are over because the trailers were quick. They were maybe like 30 seconds.
Can you get it on AMC? It's on AMC already?
It's at AMC, yeah, but you have to pay for the ticket. It's a special event. It's like a $20 ticket.
It's
So-
not being widely distributed?
No, it's only select theaters. It's a very small distribution of the movie.
Why?
Have you seen the second one yet?
No, I'm going to watch it soon,
But
though.
the idea, but it was really interesting though, is because we were watching it and then we get to the very end and we were like, all right, cool, that was a really good movie. Credits end, and then as soon as we get up, all you hear is, hey, well, if you guys stayed this long, might as well watch this. And then he just started playing a making of
Oh really?
the movie. Yeah, it was a making of the movie.
How long was that?
It was like another 30 minutes.
Oh crap!
And me and my buddy were just like, all right, well,
Hey, get some bonus features out of this.
yeah, we got a couple of bonus features out of it. It
That's
was pretty cool.
I don't watch it.
If you watch Clerks this weekend,
Yeah.
let me know when you want to see Clerks 3 so we can watch it.
Okay, I'm down.
Yeah, they're only like at like 7. They're like all playing at 7 o'clock. I
Okay.
don't know what it is.
That's
It's like
fine.
one showing a day.
That's fine. Because probably
But-
it's a cult following.
Yeah.
that's why.
In all fairness, when we
I
went,
should
there was
ask
only
my-
like 9 people.
I
There's
should
only
ask-
like 9 people in that.
I should ask
theater.
my screenplay professor what she thinks about Clerks.
Well,
It's very hit or miss with some people.
That's why.
Yeah.
well, it depends if she grew up in the 90s.
No, she's very. Oh man, she's a tough one to please.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. If she grew up in the 90s during that whole like hackers, and then you also have like Desperado and Pulp Fiction. Those are kind of like the movies that you would really compare those two.
Yep.
But I do have to admit, this is a really great one. It's a really great end to seeing the journey of Randall Graves and Dante Hicks. Kind of seeing where their journey goes, where they went. It really did make a left turn with one of the characters, especially when you start putting it in the timeline, and you're kind of like, oh no, which makes the ending of 2 a lot darker than
Oh really?
it's supposed to be. Like when you watch the end of 2, you're like, oh, all right, they live happily ever after. And then when you get to 3, you're like, oh no,
Oh, wow.
that's so bad.
Dang.
All right, so I'll watch Clerks 2. I'll watch Clerks 2 this weekend.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm not gonna
I
lie.
don't know if it's available on. Hold on. I'll check
I'm not
for you.
gonna lie. You're going to weep. You're going to like
Clerks 3 or Clerks 2?
Clerks 3.
All
You're
right.
gonna cry like, you know why? Because
No, just don't tell me. Because you did?
I did.
If I don't, I'm going to call you and be like, hey,
Dude,
stop being a
no.
baby.
No, because I got to the end and I was sitting right next to one of my friends and I was like, and I got real choked up at the end and we were like, that was really great. That was really good. It was really, really good.
You can only rent Clerks 2. You can't. It's not available to stream.
I have the DVD.
It's fine. I have an Xbox, but it's connected to my PC, so
Okay.
I'll just rent it. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's
like
$2.
It's like a $2 rental.
All right.
$3.99.
Can we move on to She-Hulk? Because we're
Also-
hitting
yeah.
what? We're hitting 40 minutes?
Yeah,
40 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
Also filmed in Buena Park.
Oh really?
Clerks 3?
Clerks 2 is filmed in Buena Park.
Oh. Does
I have
Kevin
to
Smith live in
rewatch
Los
that
Angeles?
then.
Yeah, he does. He lives in Hollywood Hills. He lives in Ben Affleck's old house.
Ooh.
But because he bought it from Ben, and then. But
Not that I'm going to be outside his home, but maybe I should walk around.
Don't
LA.
be a weirdo.
No, I'm not. But I
Stop
should probably
being a
walk
weirdo.
around LA and see if I see him just kind of like walking around. Like,
No, it's if you go to
hey.
it's Eden Canyon. Just go to Eden Canyon.
I'm not gonna walk by his house. That's weird.
No, he hikes in Eden Canyon every night.
Oh.
Literally, if you go to Eden Canyon, you could probably
That's
bump
still
into
kinda-
Kevin Smith.
still
It's
kinda
weird.
creepy.
It's so
So
weird.
should I have a business card and be like,
Your
oh,
butt,
whoops, my bad.
Like, he
Maybe,
tries to do it every morning.
I was gonna say, like, if you want to, add some more nerds on Batman on Batman.
But yeah, it's the only reason I know it's in Buena Park is because it was an old Burger King that was right next to Knott's Berry Farm, and then they demoed it right after.
Okay, good to know. All right, keep that information in hand. Whenever we want to expand, whenever we want to build a partnership with Kevin Smith.
You just go to Eden Canyon.
Actually,
for a hike.
Andy and I have a screenplay we want to write that we want to sell to Kevin Smith. Maybe.
Oh,
Yeah. More to come in the future. She-Hulk.
He uses it for his own.
Well, this is a really good idea. Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks.
She-Hulk. What do we think about this week's episode, guys?
Honest opinion, or are we doing the exaggerated opinion?
What do you want to do? You want to do exaggerated opinion for after death, so that way they can just kind of like, Yeah. Okay. God, man, this dumb feminist show, dude. I swear.
You guys are pigs.
So dumb, dude.
You guys are pigs.
Nah, it's
I'm sorry.
How dare you?
How dare you? You mean to tell me
The show's
that you're
too
not?
woke.
Yeah, it's too woke, dude. You mean you have Megan Thee Stallion in his last episode? And now all of a sudden you're talking about women empowerment and all this other crap now? Pfft, we don't need that. We see it enough in society. How dare they, dude? How dare they? You enjoy this show? You enjoy this? Stop pandering. Stop supporting the woke
culture.
culture. All right? No need for that crap.
And if you're a fan of the podcast, clip it right there.
And
what you will.
scene.
Don't worry, Brian will destroy
Stop.
himself.
Okay, look. This is a bit. This is a bit.
When they post it on Twitter, they won't know that.
What was the last one we did that you said that? Oh, yeah, when you think of that word, you'll think of Bryan.
Incel.
Incel. Yeah.
No, this was actually a good episode. And I've enjoyed this one more than every other one simply because I felt like the jokes rolled a little better.
Yeah.
Like, it started off
The
with...
comedy does get smarter, which
Yeah.
I like, yeah.
It's okay. It's more aware of itself, and I think that it's accepted that fact.
Yeah.
And it just wants to just live with it. It's like, we understand this world, the Avengers have trademarked themselves, right? Oh, well, how did Doctor Strange and Thor, did they have to trademark their names? They're literally...
That's their real names.
Those are their real names.
Yeah.
Like...
Well, I mean, that's what I think I talked about it with you guys. Like, yeah, I feel like Tony Stark would have trademarked all the Avengers names.
Dude, I'm telling you, I think that Tony Stark would have trademarked everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as soon as
And he
after
would have sold
Avengers
toys.
1, after Avengers 1, he would have been like, no, we got to trademark Captain America.
So...
And
Hulk.
sell toys.
That is a legitimate thing because there's a scene in this episode of She-Hulk where they
got what you
go...
wanted.
What?
You got what you wanted in this one because the last episode you were talking about how you want the bad knockoffs.
Yes. So in this
Got what you
world,
wanted.
in this
so
world,
hard. Yeah.
in the MCU,
They can't.
the Avengers
Yeah.
are trademarked.
Yes.
Yes.
Because they're selling knockoff, the
you see-
Avengers.
You see the Avengers.
No, they're the Avengers.
You see a purple Hulk.
Yeah.
You see,
which
like,
technically exists, right?
Yeah,
Kind of,
kind
yeah.
of. But there's a red-headed Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a
then
shovel.
Yeah, and then there's like an inverted color Iron Man. And then there's like also Captain America, but he has like a different style, I guess. Or something.
No, it was instead of his costume being blue, it was red. It was,
Yeah.
it was,
Red, yeah.
it was red, blue, white.
That was great. And then they have it all. Like when the guy picks up the hammer and the cap shield, I'm like, that. Why is that me? Like he's just holding it, going like this. And he's just like, oh. Yeah. Like why is that me at Disneyland?
It's cool. It's cool to see it, and I'm very happy that
I
they're
love that
playing
actor.
on
I love
that whole bit,
Yeah,
right?
That was good.
Other than that, in all honesty, like they stuck with the solid A plot in this episode, which was the whole She-Hulk trademarking thing,
her
right?
accepting the name and
Yeah.
realizing and like
It's a
a part of her.
bittersweet. It's a
Yeah.
bittersweet acceptance.
So I do think it's interesting that because I know that they were talking about it where they were like, oh yeah, Born Again is not going to be a sequel to
it's
Daredevil.
not. Yeah, it's
supposed to be a remake. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be like
like
they're
a
starting
revamp.
over.
Yeah, a
They're
revamp.
starting over.
But
It's not
I
the same
hope
thing.
they have the same cast though.
I think they're gonna have the same cast, but I think they're gonna have different backstory.
They're gonna have to explain that because, okay, spoiler, they show off the helmet at the end of this episode,
They show off Daredevil's helmet.
which is interesting, right? Because you don't really get that feel watching the Daredevil show that was on Netflix.
Yeah.
He's able to craft his own costume.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't craft his own costume. He has the guy who makes Fisk's armor, his suits.
That's the what's his name?
He's like the fixer or something.
Yeah,
or like
he wears like big stilts.
Yeah.
Yes.
metal stilts.
Okay.
But
Yes.
remember he saves him from Fisk's men when he's gonna get killed, and he makes him an armor.
Yes.
That guy was cool.
That's what it was.
That
Yeah.
was cool.
So
Had a good
this
time.
brings to mind, what is he doing in LA? Why is he getting his costume there? Right?
I would imagine that he got bigger.
And so he moved to Los Angeles?
No.
There's been cases he's been moved around like the Punisher in comic books and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, L.A. He probably thinks he might be needed in L.A. at some point.
I hope that if it is a reboot of his character origin, that they still reference his
Hell's
former
Kitchen?
stuff. Yeah, Hell's Kitchen and his life out there. Maybe he needed to move to LA to kind of like get away from everything that was going on in Hell's
could be
Kitchen
it
and
too.
restart there. And then he might go back.
He could be following Fisk.
That
for
could
all
be
we
too.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know. But because
needed a new costume
for an
whatever.
identity check,
Yeah.
basically to get away from all that as well. So there's a lot of different possibilities.
That would be a terrible idea. Oh yeah, I'm gonna. Which one? Matt Murdock goes to L.A. So does Daredevil.
What?
Well, I wonder who Daredevil is.
This isn't the same Daredevil because this one's yellow. The other
Yeah.
one was red.
Now, I do think that they're going to explain why.
They should. They
should-
have to.
I'm pretty sure he's probably. I think he's specifically in town for this reason.
Yeah.
He's getting a new makeover, and that's why he's there.
Yeah.
That's
Huh?
it. He's
That's
just getting a new suit because this guy.
Or maybe he is there to see She-Hulk.
Yeah,
Could
could
be.
be. But maybe his suit was destroyed for some reason or whatever it was. Doesn't really matter. What does matter though is that She-Hulk is. So now she has her classic costume, based off of what he says, where he goes, "Oh yeah, like I made you a little something extra," which is going to be her purple suit.
Purple and white suit.
Yeah, the purple and white suit, which she's probably going to wear by the end of the season. Now she has suits that
Haven't
fit.
we seen that in the trailers though?
Yeah, she wears it when she
Yeah.
meets Daredevil.
Yeah.
But if they do it just like they did it inside of Miss Marvel, she's not going to be like in the suit.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be like part of it and stuff.
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
that's going to be like a couple of episodes away when they finally like reveal it. It's going to be like the thing she wears is underwear.
The suit designer, I love.
I
I really love that character.
was getting very Edna Moe. vibes.
Yes, because that's
I
all
love
he
it.
was.
Yeah, I loved it.
They literally.
I
just
literally
made
was waiting for that line. It's like, no capes.
No capes.
No capes.
No capes.
He was just so good.
Yeah.
It was kind of like it wasn't too much. It was
No.
just the right enough of sass.
Yeah.
Just say
the right
thank
enough
you,
of
Jen. Just say thank you.
I never look back, darling. It's distracts from the now.
I really do. I just enjoy the entire environment of that. I'm enjoying her sidekicks. I really like her ensemble. Her ensemble is really fun.
I think the best part about these episodes so far, right, which we didn't get in Miss Marvel, because Miss Marvel felt like it was a good show regardless, but it did feel like it was one story told over multiple episodes. Whereas this show feels like it's one story told over multiple episodes, but every episode is a new brick to build that building, because you get more character development from Jen. The first episode, she doesn't know what's going on. This is all new to her. In the second episode, she's resentful of this entire thing. She doesn't want to be a Hulk. She doesn't like the publicity from it. In the third episode, she's kind of getting used to it. She's accepting different things, all this other stuff. By the time you get to here, it's more of like having her accept who she is and having to understand what that means. But it's a bittersweet moment because she's fighting for her name as She-Hulk, which she never wanted. Now she's accepting of it. But in that acceptance, she now has to realize people are going to see me as two entities, as Jennifer Walters or as She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Jennifer Walters is the lame-o, the person no one wants to talk to, the person no one wants to interact with, and the person no one wants to date.
Apparently
She-Hulk, though,
nobody wants to date her, which I don't think that's realistic at all. Like, she's very pretty. Like,
but apparently that's in the show.
yeah.
And then She-Hulk,
I think it's nothing says it more than that scene when they're in the bar.
Yeah.
When they were like, only these guys could have dated a superhero
Yeah.
and then gone, yeah, I could do better.
Yeah.
Like only they could sit across from a superpowered human, a Hulk, and go, I could do better than this.
Yeah.
Like, it's so weird.
Yeah.
Tell me how that guy, right? The last guy that does the testimony, right?
Fun. Oh, the guy that she
Where
got with?
Yeah.
she's just like, oh yeah, that's not my like. Jennifer's just not my type.
Jennifer's just not my type. If would I go out Jennifer? No. But a She-Hulk, she's everything. It's the same freaking person.
Yeah.
It's literally just a body change.
It
It's
really is.
like I'm what
Yeah.
fantastic hair, bigger bod.
Yeah.
You know, like
Still the same.
Yeah, it's
and the guy's an oncologist.
Yeah. Probably has like.
Respect for the oncologist,
Mhm.
but also that guy is not doing y'all any favors, dude.
No.
I'm gonna be interested because it would be interesting if her and Mac maybe got together
I'd be really. I wouldn't be mad at that at all.
because
Honestly.
they got together a couple times in the comics.
I think they do. She does not get around, but she does.
She dates a lot of people.
She dates a lot of people in the Marvel.
And
series.
She-Hulk.
She's very sex
Yeah.
positive.
Mhm.
She's
As
very
She-Hulk.
sex positive.
Oh yeah.
Not as Jennifer
She's
Walters.
a huge flirt though in the comic books.
Yeah.
See, my thing is that I'm wondering if eventually, because I'm assuming by the end of it, the Jennifer persona is eventually going to end.
No, I will say this.
She's going to accept just being Hulk.
She-Hulk.
They'll keep both.
I feel like we're gonna see that later on, but I feel like she is gonna accept that she's fine being She-Hulk.
So here's the thing I love about this. Okay, in the comics, Jennifer Walters She-Hulk is a big flirt.
Mhm.
She gets around with a lot of different Avengers and a lot of different superheroes. She dates a lot and all this other stuff. She's basically a sex symbol in some parts, right? I think what they're doing is they're re-characterizing She-Hulk in this show for modern times.
Yeah.
She's kind of fitting that mold for a lot of people.
Yeah, she's very sex positive.
She's very sex positive. She's very to herself, and she's dealing with a lot of real world situations right now, which is dealing with two different personas. Like, it's complicated to accept who you are and what you could potentially be. It's very difficult, especially from a woman's perspective. What I really appreciate about this is that every week when we watch it, Andy has the biggest smile on her face because she can relate to this. And I'm going to say it. It's good to have shows that people can relate to.
I have a question for Mandy. At night, are you afraid to walk to your car with headphones in your head?
Oh, yeah, when you get off of work, you are worried about. You do tell me you're like on the phone.
because I have to call Rene or my mom when I get off work because I get followed. Yeah. It's not.
It's
fun.
weird, right? Because she specifically says, like, oh yeah, like now I me in this form, now I can actually walk to my car with headphones in my ear and not be.
It's because the
And
dad.
not be scared.
Is this the episode where the dad comes in?
That was in this episode.
Yeah, right. And he's just like, we got to make sure that you don't get attacked by people. When it's like,
I love the dad. He was so cute.
he cares, and it's like, dude, she's a Hulk. She can defend herself. Nothing will penetrate her. Nothing will freaking beat her up.
Yeah,
Except
he's
for an
all-
oncologist.
And he's all like, "Why have a shovel to dig holes?"
Good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Whoops. Anyway, yeah, 100%, right? Yeah, but it's such a cute little thing because it's, again, I love the grounding of real life they have in this show.
Yeah.
It's a grounded, real life, lawyer-esque show.
Also,
With the comic book
it,
skin.
it shows how awkward she is and how she wants to be friends with coworkers.
Yes.
That was cool.
Yeah,
I like
it was
that.
really good. Overall, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Now you cannot not have Daredevil in the next episode.
Oh yeah.
Also,
I also really enjoy the back and forth because it's so funny how weird and goofy she is
Yeah.
as Jennifer, and how bold and like not necessarily fearless, but she just has a lot more confidence.
Yeah, definitely.
As She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Like you can very much see them as two different personas.
Yeah.
She does a good job. The actress does a good
The
job.
actress
of
does an
doing-
amazing job.
yeah. Overall, we like this episode.
I like this show. This makes me love the show more.
Mhm.
Definitely so far, if I had to say, possibly top 5 favorite Marvel show right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it probably more than I did Captain
Falcon and
American,
Winter Soldier.
Falcon and Winter
Yeah.
Soldier. I'm liking it a little bit more than Miss Marvel, Just a little
A
bit.
little bit, but I still like Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
But but Loki's still top for me
Yeah.
as a like overarching Marvel show. But it's like right there next to.
Can I be honest? I've kind of forgotten about those shows because this is like completely new. This is a completely new genre of like MCU shows.
Loki's a good show to rewatch. I've noticed.
Yeah.
That.
Is it really?
It's really good.
Because there's like a
rewatch
lot of
it
things
again.
in the background.
I'll give it a watch then.
Yeah, it's good.
That does it for She-Hulk Watch for this week. Check back in next week.
Wait,
With Daredevil.
Ooh, they can't show it. They cannot not have him.
Can you imagine if they didn't? Like
What?
the whole
Worst
episode.
MCU show ever.
I'm just waiting for that moment when episode 5 starts. Then she's like, I know, we showed you the helmet.
Yes. if
He's coming. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
Yeah.
But my show is going on.
This is my show. Though. The show's called She-Hulk.
This was the episode that didn't have a mid-credit scene.
It did.
Yeah,
but
it
it had a
didn't.
big Easter egg at the end. That's
Yes,
the-
in the credits
Yeah.
you see the shoes and all the different
Yeah.
Marvel characters,
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that implies,
including Deadpool.
which
and
I actually
Cyclops.
think is interesting. That when you think about it, yeah, everybody would have to find somebody else because Tony Stark died.
Yeah.
Because he was making all their outfits.
Mhm.
Which,
There had to be another way to get,
how do I get new costumes? And
We'll
how do I
see
get new
how.
uniforms?
I think the biggest question to be answered here is the world building aspect. By the end of the series, how well did it do it?
Oh, okay.
You know?
I think so far, as of like after Endgame wise, it's showing us like how the cinematic universe world is. It's not bad.
From
I
an
like it.
individual perspective, it's done it well. I think She-Hulk is building it from an outside perspective
Yeah.
as well, which is interesting. We got about 30 minutes left into the show.
Okay.
Right? Do we have 30 minutes? Yeah, about 30 minutes. So we got to talk about the last topic of our conversation, right? Which didn't do so well over the last, issue or so because kind of sucked a little bit. But here's the thing, guys. All right. So last week we didn't talk about D23.
No.
We're being pretty bold and saying, you know what? We're going to do some predictions. We're going to see if we're right. We weren't. But here's the thing. Some things were. But here's the thing, guys, okay? We didn't have a lot of news last week. We talked a lot about Cobra Kai Season 5 because that show is awesome.
Now we finished that.
And
yeah.
it's great. It's
Great
awesome.
season.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
You guys were kind of close. You guys were close. The minute that you started saying, what was it? Oh, yeah, they're going to do the next All Valley. I was like, man, they ain't going to do it.
Think bigger.
Yeah, I was like, you're thinking too small, baby. Thinking way too small.
It's the world.
So do you think like next season they're gonna like do a season where that's gonna happen? Or
I
they're
want
training?
Hillary Swank to get back in there.
Yes.
So we can, yes.
How do you write Hillary Swank in? That's the
She
thing.
is the champion of whatever. I forget the tournament or whatever.
If she was a past champion,
Or
I
she
would
has her own dojo.
I would love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
No, I would love it if she was a past champion and Miyagi got her there,
Yeah.
and then she comes back to then teach them what they need to know in order to win.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
want. See, the thing is that because Daniel doesn't know about her. I'm assuming.
Yeah, he does.
No, really?
Because you think that in all the years, and as much as Mr. Miyagi told her about Daniel, that he never went back and never told him about this. Like,
Well, I'm assuming because Daniel's very kind of like, what? You would train someone else but me?
No,
Yeah,
because-
he did that with Chosen.
no, because what was it? Because in the next Karate Kid, he even says, "Oh yeah, I have a partnership with my student." He talks about Daniel often.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta
About,
watch
like,
the
he
Karate
told-
Kids again just to.
I did watch the next Karate Kid recently. It's not bad, but the ending is kind of meh.
It's
we
meh.
watched it, yeah.
Yeah, it's me.
What was the ending again?
It was
She just-
basically she's like she's trying to stop this karate club.
From killing a hawk.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta rewatch it.
It's pretty lame. It's pretty
Her
lame.
character is kind of very written badly. Like it's like Daniel times 3
Yeah.
in a way, where she's very ignorant, doesn't want to listen.
They wrote her as a '90s female.
So we have to move on to the topic. So let's
No,
do
it's
this,
not
okay?
great.
So let's say without elongating this and making it 15 minutes, let's make it like as quick as possible. Our top 3 favorite things from this season
Oh.
and why people should watch it.
I liked the. It's a spoiler. I don't know if you guys watched it, but it's been out for a while now. I like the reconcile between Miguel and Robbie.
Yes.
That fight that they
That fight was
had,
dope.
and and they both them realizing that it was a mistake, and if they could take it back. and
Okay,
stuff
do you
like
understand now when I was like, oh, I really enjoy the fact that most of this season is them talking?
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like them
Everyone's
understanding each other.
communicating,
Yeah,
yeah.
everybody's communicating and
And no one's
fights aren't
If we
assuming-
put
happening.
our fists down, maybe we can get to the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, like maybe we could all talk and like not fight each other.
All right, second favorite thing.
Second favorite thing, I liked how they brought in the girl from Karate Kid Part 3.
Yes.
You find out she's actually friends with the wife.
She was the one that
No, she's
introduced the
cousins.
two.
Yeah, oh,
They're cousins.
Okay,
yeah, they introduced each other. There's
Yeah,
that
That's
connection.
how, I was like, that's cool. I was wondering how they're gonna put her in, but I like that connection a lot.
And they even say, oh yeah, like this happened before I introduced you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it gave reasonings as to why Danny was so traumatized by Silver.
Yeah.
3.
I like how Cobra Kai feels like it is officially done.
Cool.
It's not like, oh yeah, it's here, they're gone, but they're still kind of like lingering.
Yeah.
Like Kreese will just come in, but it feels like now it's done.
All right, tell the people to the camera right there. Should they watch it?
Yes.
Okay, Nick. 1.
I would have to say the relationship between Daniel, Johnny, and Sozin.
Okay.
I think that is some of the best buddy comedy in the series of like all three of them just hanging out together and really just having a good time.
Okay.
And realizing that even though we all hated each other when we were younger, we had a lot in common.
Yeah.
And we could have been really cool friends for all these years. The fight scenes with
Okay, so 2.
so the fight scenes with Miguel and Robbie is really good. I also really like that overarching scene. The idea that Cobra Kai, the only way they could really win is by cheating,
Uh-huh.
and it really does put a toll on Tori of
Okay.
going like I'm not a real champion. I'm not actually the best. The only way that we win really is by cheating.
And 3.
3, I really like Sam this season. I thought Sam was a lot better character.
She got more growth.
She got a lot more growth.
She was
this
annoying.
season.
I did find it annoying in the beginning where she's like, "Oh, I want to take a break, Miguel." And Miguel's like making out with the girl, and she's like, "Oh my God, Miguel!"
Yes.
Like,
Hey,
I was like, "Come
you
on,
want to know
why
what?
are
You know
mad?"
what? Andy had a problem with that. And I was
Yeah.
just like, listen, she's the one that wanted to break.
Yeah.
What is he going to do? What is he going to
The
do?
moment
Hold on,
she grabbed
wait,
that
wait.
octopus necklace, she's like, "I love him again." Oh,
Hang
let's see
on.
Miguel.
All right, hold on, penises. Wait. Can we have the one female in the room talk about it? Where
No.
okay, if you still have feelings,
Why are you silencing her?
I'm not. Yeah, no. Why are you trying to silence the only? Okay, if you had feelings for somebody and you just took a break with your boyfriend or whatever, and you're just trying to figure stuff out, and then you go to a party and you see him making out with somebody, would you be kind of pissed?
I would be pissed. I'd be jealous but it'd be my fault that I told the guy that I wanted a break. But I'd be jealous because I still had feelings for the
And
person.
you'd still be upset, right?
Listen,
Yeah.
we were on a break.
I understand that, but that's real. That's a real reaction.
So basically, yeah, she would be upset, but she'd be more frustrated with herself.
But the thing
Yeah,
is,
but Sam
that,
wasn't upset with herself. Okay, get to the point because
No, but
I
she
want to talk
was.
about my 3 points.
Okay,
that was it.
Okay.
it's Tori in the bikini,
Yeah, Tori in the-
Tori in the dojo, and then Tori fighting Sam.
I actually.
She's 16, you monster.
No, she's 18.
I checked.
No, she's
Yeah,
like-
she's like 20.
Why did you have to
something like
check?
that. I had to
Why,
check.
why? Before you rubbed it out, you were like, "Oh, hold on, let me make sure."
I had to check. Like when they did the water scene, like the water park scene. I was like, hold on.
Wait.
Hold on, can I pause it right now? I can. All right.
No, but you know what? It's cute because. Can you stop cussing?
I can't.
Jesus. That's twice I have to look now.
What time was that?
102.
Doesn't matter. I'll have to figure it out afterwards. All right.
102.
Keep that in mind, please. Okay, I'll get it
I'll
afterwards.
send you in the group chat.
Thank you. All right, so I will say it's kind of cute because Peyton List is dating the guy that plays Hawk,
Yeah.
right? So it's kind of weird because
And Miguel's dating the hippie girl. Moon.
What?
Yeah, they're dating in real life. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Right?
That's so weird.
Why you put all these kids in the same building for like long
No,
enough? they're all
it's
gonna
not
start-
that. It's just
they're all
the
gonna
fact that
start
it's
dating each other.
like Peyton List.
Yeah.
Tori is love interest is Robbie,
So-
but he's kind of there in the scene.
The actress that plays Sam, when she started in season 1, Miguel, the actor that plays Miguel, was 17. She was already 21.
Okay.
So she was nervous about the kissing scenes she had to do with Miguel.
Oh, I didn't know she was older. She
Yeah.
looks way younger.
She's like basically Ralph Macchio. Like
Yeah, because Ralph Macchio was.
He's 60.
He was.
he's
He is
60 now.
Yeah, Ralph Macchio's in his 60s.
He started the Karate Kid when he was like 21.
No, he was 18.
He was 18?
He was like in,
No, he
like
was 18 when he did The Outsiders.
Can you look up Ralph Macchio and how old he is?
So my three, I like Tori's ending arc here because it finally felt like the one thing I didn't like about Robbie is that he felt like a fence sitter the entire time, and he couldn't choose between wanting one thing and wanting another. I got to stop Cobra Kai from fighting Miyagi-Do, but I also don't really agree with a lot of Cobra Kai stuff. Tori had a purpose to stay with Cobra Kai. At the end, she finally made a choice. Like, she jumped that fence and said, I'm going to do the right thing and tell Sam what happened. I really like that. 2, the Silver storyline, you could only lie so much before you fall apart. And I love that buildup of him just continuously lying and continuously thinking that money's going to solve everything. Yeah. At the end of it, he thought his plan was going to be foolproof, and it wasn't. It finally collapsed, and I like that. Yeah. And I like the fact that Danny was able to deliver that final blow to essentially get rid of him. Right?
The Korean senseis were also pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I really enjoyed that as like how do we make Silver even more threatening?
Yes. The last thing I will say is the fight scene, which is a big spoiler. The drunken fight scene with Chosen, Johnny, and I forget his name, the bad boy Mike
Barnes.
Mike Barnes. Love that. I was so nervous the entire time because I thought Chosen died.
Oh my god!
And I was crying. I was just like
showing blood in the water.
Yeah, I know. I was really upset too because the minute that they started talking about like Chosen professing his love for Kimiko.
That was cute too.
That was cute because he's just like, I should have brought you with me. And I was like,
the minute he did that and it was a voicemail and he was like, oh yeah, like when I get back, like, well, this will be it. And I was like, are they gonna kill Sozen? like, is he gonna die right now?
Are they gonna kill him off?
Like, are they gonna kill him off? Like,
I was concerned.
Yeah,
I was a little bit sad, but that fight scene was goated.
Sword fight was.
Yeah.
And then Johnny cuts the finger off of one of the guys too.
I
was like, I did not expect that.
I liked Johnny's fight against the Masters. And going like, oh yeah, he cranked it up a notch.
Yeah.
We're gonna get a little Johnny pretty soon.
I can't wait for a little Johnny. That's gonna be great.
Oh, that'd be funny if it was a girl.
That would be a lot of fun.
Season 6 is the last one, guys. I'm telling you, I'm hoping.
Oh,
guys, this is watch Cobra Kai. Watch it.
I wouldn't mind if they split it into a 2-season thing.
They have to, a part 1 and part 2.
Because honestly, what I would do is I would go, cool, we're gonna have a season 6, and that's training.
Yeah.
Getting to the tournament and then make an entire season of the tournament.
Yeah.
I think so. Because
we gotta wrap this up, guys.
Because they have to establish a threat.
Yes.
In the next season.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to be John Kreese. I think maybe or maybe not.
I think Kreese is going to be more a foil. Like he's going to be an issue.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be like
he's gonna be Team Rocket.
I think he's going to be gaining the allegiance of the fallen off Cobra Kaiers, where they need a master, they need a sensei, they need someone to follow.
Yeah.
And they'll probably go to John Kreese.
Yeah.
Because mind you, Cobra Kai did get they did get an invitation.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming.
That's true, yeah.
Also, it's really awesome that all the main characters are now on one team.
Yeah.
So now we can root for Miyagi-Do and not feel bad, not conflicted.
That's not their name, though.
It's Eagle Miyagi-Do Fang.
Yeah, but that's not their name. They're still going to choose one, which will probably be unveiled in the next season.
Yeah.
We got to move on to our final topic, which is the talk of conventions.
Oh, he was 22. Yeah, he was 22.
Cool.
Really?
Good to know.
Ralph Macchio looked good for 22.
Yeah, he did. Moving on. Talk about conventions in general, because we had D23 last week, right? Which, boring. We can agree with that. But also, a lot of conventions happened over the weekend, which I personally did not know of. We had State of Play. We had Ubisoft Forward. We had the Tokyo Game Show not that long ago as the time of recording. We had D23. We're going to start off with the most boring one, D23. Yeah. Simple as this, our predictions were about 10% right. We were wrong. Here's the unfortunate thing about D23. It sucked.
There wasn't a lot.
There wasn't. Star Wars was the dominant figure.
So apparently, like, I think in D23, both Lucas Arts, Marvel, and I think Disney only had, as a total of presentation, like time to present things, 30 or 40 minutes.
So here's what I kind of understood from D23.
They talked a lot more about the resorts.
Yes, that is the thing. So I understand that. D23 is the time to basically talk about future Disney plans. That is the reason that convention exists, right? Yeah. But you also can't ignore the fact, right, that D23, their big market names are Marvel and Star Wars. If you don't have big announcements there, who's going to care, right? Disney heads are crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Mandy. They are crazy. They are insane people.
Yeah, you guys are pretty sick.
Yeah. In a bad way or in a good way?
Depends.
Both? Both?
Huh?
You could be. Depends.
I don't know. When I get into a conversation with you, is the only thing that comes out of your mouth Disney? Then
You're fine. Yeah. But if you live, breathe, and
Disney,
die by
though.
Disney, yeah, that's a concern. But that's the thing, is that Disney heads are going to be the ones watching D23.
Yeah.
We were mostly interested in the whole Marvel stuff and the whole Star Wars thing.
That wasn't what the show was for.
That wasn't what it was. And I'll be honest with you, since the presentation on Saturday, when it was disappointing, there was nothing really big revealed out there besides maybe, if anything, the announcement of who was going to direct Fantastic Four, which was probably the only interesting thing in terms of the Marvel stuff.
More or less.
And then like the lineup for Thunderbolts.
Which we kind of already knew.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. We didn't know that Falcon was going to be. I mean, not Falcon. Winter Soldier was going to be in it.
That's a nice addition, honestly.
Yeah.
I want to see. There's some people are saying that the Bucky and Black Widow's sister are going to have like some sort of relationship.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
So it's cool.
I also really want to see Red Guardian talking to Bucky, telling him, "Do you remember me?"
Yeah.
Just like them talking, like the Red Guardian has met Bucky before inside of like a past mission, and he has no memory of it.
They still haven't put in Abomination in it, right? He's not in it.
No.
So far, no.
Yeah.
So here's the interesting thing. Last week's issue, right? Issue 114, we said that Marvel or Disney tend to essentially leak out information even after the event, which is what Kevin Feige technically did with the MCU. Because with the announcement of the Thunderbolts, there was an interview afterwards where they asked him, what is the state of the Avengers? Like, what happened to them? And he officially stated that the Avengers are no longer a thing in the MCU here. There is no longer a team of Avengers. They've all disbanded. The concept exists.
Yeah.
But the team itself is not built. They've all done their separate
that
things.
makes sense. I mean, anyone that thought like, oh, the Avengers still around? Really? Did
No.
you not see Endgame? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the
They've all
Avengers-
disbanded.
Yeah.
That's it.
They've all
right?
gone off into their own.
The Thunderbolts is supposed to fill in that void,
Yeah.
according to him. It's supposed to be more of a reconnaissance, more of like a darker version of the Avengers.
It's basically the government's answer
Yes.
to the Avengers.
Yeah, it's more of a government-led. Also, they have to follow the government's regulations.
Now, with that said, there is a trailer that does kind of set the tone for what the MCU could possibly go towards, which is the Secret Invasion trailer. Now, we can talk about what we saw there, right, which is the Skrulls and the invasion and Nick Fury basically going about all that other stuff. For me, it's one aspect. It's the color, the contrast, and the saturation of the entire trailer. It is grayscaled to the max.
Yeah.
It's darker.
And then Armor Wars is supposed to take place right after.
So if you're doing all of that, is Kevin Feige looking to kind of make this a more serious toned version of the MCU? Like, are we finally getting that and pulling away from the whole She-Hulk, Miss Marvel?
I don't
think
it's the plan, but I think it's just like the vibe. When you do something like that, you have to show that this is basically how S.H.I.E.L.D. or formerly S.H.I.E.L.D. will face major threats without relying on the Avengers.
I feel like it's more Sword. Like they're finally going to introduce what Sword's been doing.
That would be
inside
cool
of
if we
Secret
finally get to
Wars.
see Sword now. That would be awesome.
Because we saw Fury on the Sword in space, and they were on like the Sword headquarters and everything else. I think that would be really interesting to kind of go more towards that, and it's more of a spy movie.
Yeah.
Or a spy TV show.
If we go
less.
towards Winter Soldier vibes.
This is a smart way to get people to watch Captain Marvel because main characters on here are essential from Captain Marvel.
Yes.
They also gave out the plot of the Marvels, which is apparently Danvers, Kamala Khan, and also Photon. They're every single time they use their powers, they switch.
What do you mean they switch?
Oh, they switch places?
That's what's going on. That's why they keep switching. Like they're tethered by something and they don't know what it is.
Oh, that would
okay.
be the Marvel. That, you know what? That's really cool.
And that's they're all three of them are connected, but they all keep interchanging in each other's places.
Okay.
And they're dealing with each other's threats.
Interesting.
That would be a cool sequence to see in the final climactic fight
Yeah.
in the Marvels. You just see them like constantly switching and stuff like that.
Interesting concept.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that was announced by MCU, which I'm excited for because I really love that 1930s like vibe, Werewolf in the Night or something like that.
Werewolf by Night.
Werewolf by Night.
Yeah.
That looks sick.
It's a nice little horror.
I like that.
Yeah.
It looks really cool. And plus, I'm a huge werewolf fanatic, so that's just
It's not a comic book or anything, is it?
Yes, it is.
It is?
It is a comic book that's basically, it's like a horror comic, but not to the extent of what you think. It's more darker base.
Yeah.
They get to deal with more mythical stuff.
Okay.
And
It's an anthology, isn't it?
yeah.
It's supposed to be an anthology.
Yeah, so it's like different stories along the way. They
It's kind of like Tales, their version of Tales of the Crypt.
yeah, and
Dope.
they did like Tomb of Dracula as well too and stuff.
They really got that vibe right. Not 1920s, 1930s, excuse me. This is like 1940s, 1950s, Twilight Zone-ish.
Very like Universal monsters.
Yes, very
Yeah.
Dracula-esque,
Yes.
which is really good. Frankenstein.
Yeah, and I'm really shocked that they've thrown a Man Thing in here.
Yeah.
That's the
Man
thing.
thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's in
And
the trailer.
they showed like a little clip of him, and I wonder how much important he is in here.
I don't know.
Because he's like a Nexus kind of like he could travel to different Nexus events.
You know who would really sell this? Or, okay, you know who's going to criticize the show to death?
Do I care?
No, you won't. Ernie will.
Yeah,
He's a huge fan of that kind of like monsters, the like
he's
those
gonna
old school
hate
movies.
it. I know he's gonna.
You
hate
think
it.
so?
I think he's gonna
hope
hate it.
I hope people like that do
Yeah.
end up liking this
Yeah.
because it's a good experiment.
It is.
And here's the thing. You can only do so much to kind of replicate that kind of style of movie making, which has been lost throughout the decades. It's interesting to see that trailer and be like, this takes me back to watching those things. I grew up with that. I grew up with a lot of Twilight
Same
Zone
here. Yeah.
with my dad. So I can basically look at something and be like, that's very Twilight
Yeah.
Zone-esque, you know, with the
Yeah.
framing and everything.
And this
It's
isn't
good
a
to see it.
show. It's just a special presentation, which is
Yeah.
Maybe
it's
their
just
Halloween
a
special,
one-off. Yeah.
Which is good. That's exactly what it should be. To kind of wrap up the whole D23.
I would like it if they did it every Halloween, though.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
that was-
a new one. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
like a
next
new
year will be
movie.
like Tomb of Dracula or something like
Yeah.
that. That would be really cool.
To kind of wrap up the D23 thoughts, because Star Wars, they announced a lot of different things, but it's nothing that we really knew besides the whole Mandalorian trailer, which we kind of,
Well, the Mandalorian. The thing is that they showed exactly the same thing that they showed over at Celebration.
yeah, but it's
Just
public
made-
now.
It's more
No,
public.
But now it's a public trailer. But the thing is that it got leaked.
it got
Yeah.
leaked a while back.
It
So
got leaked
everyone
a while
already
again,
knew.
so everybody was like, okay, whatever. Like,
you
that's
just
not
see it
big
at a
deal.
better quality.
Yeah,
That's
right,
it.
Yeah, it
yeah.
was just a better quality trailer. Which honestly, what they should have done is the same thing that DC did when they leaked the trailer for, I think it was like BVS.
yeah.
Oh
or
yeah.
Anything else where the trailer got leaked and then
Like, just
Warner Brothers.
released it.
Yeah, then Warner Brothers was like, forget it, dude. Here, take it. Like, we'd rather you use a better quality and just watch it.
Yeah.
They showed a little more of Ahsoka Tano. They showed like they showed the characters in front of like a mural. They showed a bunch of other things.
Tales of the Jedi,
They did show more of Tales
which
of the Jedi.
confirms Mace Windu coming back.
So what it's supposed to take place in Tales of the Jedi, that is also an anthology, but it's supposed to also talk about stories of Jedi. So it's Mace Windu and Count Dooku,
Yeah.
and it's Dooku when he was a Jedi.
Okay.
This is pre Attack of the Clones, pre Phantom Menace. This is like way back.
His story is actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that it's when Dooku has a Padawan, and that Padawan is Qui-Gon Jinn,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
because that's who trained Qui-Gon.
Is it
Jinn.
animated or is it?
It's animated.
Animated.
Okay.
And then Obi-Wan Kenobi has his own apprentice as well, and they're talking and everything else. Because it's actually interesting that in Legends, was it Windu's apprentice actually turns to the dark side, because Windu really does play a lot with. He's
The
right
light
in the
in the
middle.
dark.
He's
Yeah.
right in the middle, so his apprentice does.
He's
the
not in the
same.
middle. He plays with both and understands
He knows
both.
he knows how to manipulate the
Yeah,
dark side.
exactly. He knows how to make the dark side work for the light,
Yes.
kind of in that sort of way.
But he even says it too in one of the things of like, if you don't have proper control of your emotions, you'll flip to the dark.
Yeah. So, last thing to kind of end this before we move on to the other conventions and kind of give our thoughts about what kind of conventions have been doing these last couple of days. So I read the article because Our Real Addiction actually covered it, the whole
Yeah.
Brie Larson interview that happened,
Oh, that's
right?
Yeah.
So I kind of want to put maybe a minute or two of the conversation in here from our perspective, right? Here's the thing. I can understand where Brie Larson's coming from, why she's, responding the way she did, where it's like, well, if people want me to and all this other stuff, right?
Yeah.
I don't think the three of us here dislike Brie Larson for what she does with Captain Marvel,
No.
she's okay. If she comes back, that's fine.
If they were to recast her, I wouldn't be.
Exactly. That's the problem I have, is that it's Brie Larson herself that I think that we have a problem with.
No,
which,
I
at least for me, then.
even in Captain Marvel, there was no point during Captain Marvel where I was like, that's Captain Marvel. Like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And everything else. It was more, I don't know, it's just Brie Larson just kind of giving.
She has the look. She just doesn't have the persona of Carol Danvers and
like when
Captain
I look
Marvel.
at RDJ, I go, that's Iron Man.
Yeah.
Like that is definitely Iron Man. When I look at Hemsworth, that's Thor.
Yeah.
When I look at what was it, Scarlett Johansson?
Oh, yeah.
I go, that's Black Widow. They put their own personas into.
I think she went too literal with the role of like, you are a powerful character. I feel like Kevin Feige really messed this up, constantly saying that Captain Marvel's the strongest person in
and
the
she thought of
MCU.
herself as a star.
And again, that went to her head, and I believe that it's like kind of like, you know. And then it's weird because her acting in that movie, she's not a terrible actor in general, but she was really kind of like very stonish, right?
Yeah.
She was very stoic.
It was weird.
Not only that, but also I can kind of see where people are getting this misconception, because when she was doing press with the other cast of the Avengers, she was kind of coming off very standoffish. Like,
so
everybody else was was going like, okay, cool, we're playing the games,
So
we're
was
riffing off each other.
There was a rumor speculating that Elizabeth Olsen didn't want to do press with Brie Larson specifically because apparently she didn't like her, or they had like an argument or a disagreement of some sorts. That's why we never saw them together.
So here's going with that, right? Where how she portrays herself and stuff like that. I think that's my biggest issue with Brie Larson right now. It's not, I don't have a problem with her playing Captain Marvel. And it's difficult. I get it. Any actor or actress, we've never acted in front of a camera that way. We don't live that life, so we can't necessarily say how tough it is to be a person on stage and on camera doing interviews and stuff like that. A lot of the interviews, though, do kind of seem very, like Nick said, very standoffish, very much like aggressive, very much like trying to deliver a message that didn't really need to be said. There's no reason why you should act like someone's attacking you when no one really is. And I get that. Sometimes you do, because, like we've said it before, it's not that women have it really tough, but
interviewers do treat women different.
Exactly, and that is a problem. But no one is, and she kind of made herself an enemy by the things that she said, and I think it's very complicated. So no, I don't feel pity for the fact that she said this. I don't think you guys do either, for basically saying like, if people want me back.
I think it's interesting because, like, if you think back at some of the interviews, RDJ was notorious for it, and I really did love it when he was taking an interview with Scarlett Johansson or anybody else, and then they would ask an inappropriate question to them, but he wouldn't like outright state that it was for Scarlett or for whoever it is, and then they were like, well, what was your workout routine, in order to get in such great shape? And then you can kind of see that they're uncomfortable, and then RDJ would interject, and he would go, well, my workout routine was this, and he would take the question. Or it was like, how did it feel inside of that tight suit? Did they have to like, and he'd take the question for them and everything else. And I could see that it was that, because I noticed in that interview with Hemsworth, he tries to kind of do that, of like try to like kind of like get in the way of the question. And then she gives him a little bit of flack for it. Like, she gives him a little blowback, and he's like, what the world? Like, what are you doing?
It was a video of her pushing a Jeep up a hill, and they were like, oh, why did you feel like you needed to do that? And Chris Hemsworth like, oh yeah, it's like, he goes, oh, we have the next Tom Cruise here and stuff, and she's like, no, I'm gonna be the next me. Like, I'm not gonna be Tom Cruise. I'm gonna be the next me.
Like, there's no playing.
Yeah. And
it's just
sense. She kind of took that to offense.
And you can kind of see Hemsworth go like, okay, whatever.
I was trying to just
I was trying to put you to the same. Let's be honest. Tom Cruise is at his own level. I don't care who you are. If I were to compare you to Tom Cruise,
it's all that Scientology money and leveling.
Right.
Well, it's because
he's level 129 Scientologist.
Satans. That's why.
$1 billion Maverick movie got to his head. Now. He's like, I'm unstoppable.
Put me in a jet.
Yeah.
I'm immortal.
I can sell movies.
No, but the thing is that that is a compliment. That is a hardcore compliment because he is an amazing actor. He's an amazing actor, and he's also an amazing stunt performer. He's very creative. He's great behind the lens. He's a great editor. All around, if I was to be compared to Tom Cruise, that's a huge compliment. That's a huge
But
compliment.
I don't think she took it that way. Yeah. Point being, that's our thoughts on this whole Brie Larson bit. I don't think we should stretch it out anymore.
I will say this: like when she made that remark, I didn't like have respect for her, but I had the kind of like, you know what? I'm glad that she's aware of the fandom and how it's against her. And she's aware of it. She's not being ignorant about it.
Yeah.
You know, she's
She
not trying
knows
to be like,
that it exists.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know
it's
what?
kind of hard to ignore.
Yeah,
so
it's
we
like,
have to wrap up the issue pretty soon. I'm going to say this. That D23 flopped, but every other convention or every other little thing that they had for certain products were a little bit better. Ubisoft Forward, they announced the new Assassin's Creed game. They announced a lot of Assassin's Creed stuff.
Oh, did they announce like 3 more games?
Yeah,
They
it
announced
was- it
Code
was-
Red, Code Jade, and then Mirage.
Yeah, it's so funny though because they were talking about Mirage, and then they were like, "Listen, same people that made Odyssey, but here's the cool part."
Yeah, they're really
We're
trying
going-
to sell Mirage.
No,
I noticed
but
that.
I love the idea of them just going like, "But here's the cool part. We're gonna rip all the things that were just really extra. So like this giant map where you can like travel for hours and everything like that. Yeah, we're gonna make it a really tiny map.
And you remember all that those RPG elements in the trash?
Gone. Yeah, gone. What was it? Those sections where like you couldn't go in until you leveled. Gone.
Isn't it like back to kind of like
it's
Assassin's
back to
Creed 2?
basics.
Yes.
Basics or something.
Yeah, it's very much back to.
I wouldn't
formula.
even mind that going back to Assassin's Creed 3 because 3 was still good.
Yeah, but like buying equipment, buying stuff, like leveling up and getting new abilities is really cool as you progress the story because it's a single player game. That's awesome. The RPG elements really.
Assassin's Creed is a
it
30-hour
inflates it.
game. It's not a 60, 70-hour game.
Oh.
That's
Yeah.
the problem. And the moment that I spent like 70 hours on Origins just to beat it because I was so, overwhelmed with the side quests and stuff, it got annoying. So Ubisoft Forward, I think, in my opinion, was okay. I didn't realize that it was there. Cool. You also had State of Play, which came out of, had they announced that State of Play was supposed to be a thing?
No, it just happened.
It just
honestly.
happened?
I was like home on Monday, and I just like, oh, God of War Ragnarok story trailer. I'm like, cool. And I'm like,
It looks good.
it does.
I can't wait for that. Thor versus Kratos is gonna be awesome.
So,
that's gonna
The
be
who's
minute,
dope.
that?
the
What's
minute
his
I get to just rip Thor's head off is gonna be great because
Who's
you
the-
already know Kratos wins. Like
Yeah.
there's no fighting
God
about it.
Who's that guy on TikTok that goes like, hui, hui, or whatever? He does all the fight scenes.
Kazan.
Yeah, what's his name?
I don't know. I forgot.
I found his YouTube channel
Oh, he
because
does
he's a
the YouTube
streamer.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did he watch it?
He reacted to the God of War trailer, and it's so funny because his last line is just like, "What? Kratos is going after the MCU!" I'm just like, yeah. It's so cool. But State of
pretty
Play, I mean, yeah, cool. Like the God of War, awesome. That's great. Tekken 8 got announced.
Yeah.
Finally after it. And here's the
That's
thing:
cool.
when it comes to Japanese fighting games, they like to always tease their audience because they did that with I forget where they teased Tekken 8. It was something that happened like a couple of months ago, huh?
All I know,
Or was it
is-
Evo? It might have been Evo.
It was Evo,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
the thing I can't wait about for God of War is Kratos throwing around Mjolnir.
He's
Because
still
you know,
stuck in God of War.
you know he's gonna murder Thor.
Yeah.
You know he's gonna steal Mjolnir, and he's just gonna be like flying around with it. Like I just really want that.
What if Atreus gets Mjolnir?
Mjolnir?
Yeah.
I'm fine with that too. Like
That'd be cool.
Atreus needs a melee weapon.
He needs a mystical weapon.
He needs a mystical weapon, and I think Mjolnir would be hilarious because he is Loki.
Street
He is
Fighter
Loki, yeah.
6, also gorgeous. We're getting that. Here's the thing. I'm excited for the way games look now because they look friggin' awesome.
Oh, they're
man.
beautiful.
But it also shows my age because I'm just like, oh my god, dude, games did not look like this when I was like in high school.
I was doing comparison videos of Resident Evil 2 and from like 1990s. And
This
how
is
Resident
what we
Evil-
played?
I was like, what? And I hated, and I forgot I hated that whole like fixed camera angle
Yeah.
where you're just like this. You have to move.
Oh
like this.
no, you want to know what my biggest revelation was? Modern Warfare 2 had Call of Duty Next. I think it was like 2 days ago or yesterday. So they showed off the new Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer.
Yeah.
And I forgot that the original Modern Warfare 2, when you move around with the gun was stationary and just jumped up
Yeah.
and down.
Oh, yeah.
Now with the updated graphics and everything, it's like and there's actual rumble and stuff. You're like, dude, I used to play Call of Duty like this. Oh my god,
Yeah,
man.
there's actual like recoil.
Yeah, it's like what?
Yeah, they also went up on what was it Warzone 2. They gave a little bit more.
They
info.
did all that. That was okay.
That's a little that's a
so
little weird.
let me say
a little
this, okay?
weird.
Because the last one that we have to talk about. What's the time, real quick?
You're at hour 28.
Hour 28.
Yeah.
Okay, we got about 5 minutes to discuss this last part. Okay, so good thing that I brought up Call of Duty because the last thing that I not a convention but last like thing, a little trailer, whatever want to announce it, whatever you want to call it, was Nintendo Direct. Here's the thing. I have a love-hate relationship with Nintendo. Mm-hmm. I hate the fact that they always announce their directs the day before they premiere. Mm-hmm. Okay? And I also hate the fact that they make a big deal about the directs and nothing happens during these stupid directs.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a Switch?
Yes.
You don't have a Switch. Okay. Do you play with the Switch a lot or are you just kind of like, right? Okay.
So honestly, it's been dead sitting on my like cabinet for like the last past like
So
6 months.
let's say when you do play it with like a group of people? Like it's a party game?
I use it more as like a party device.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Yeah.
gonna charge it for my trip so that way I can play it in the airport. Well, no, but I mean like,
that's what it is. Yeah.
I'm going to play with it when I'm in the airport because we have like a 4-hour delay. And I was talking to all my buddies and we were like, well, I mean, let's just play Mario Kart or like something else in the airport.
That's
and
what it's
we can
supposed
have
to be.
fun.
It's a party device that you can connect to easily. If Nintendo understood what online connectivity was and
I'd
can
be
make it
excited
easy,
about it.
but it doesn't understand that. You know what's the dream as a Pokemon fan? To be able to carry around the Switch and instantaneously battle with someone rather than waiting in a lobby for 5 minutes to set up the connection and then battle.
Oh, you
it
mean
makes
the thing I talked about last episode where
Yeah.
it's just like you walk by somebody and would go like battle.
Yeah,
Do it.
but it doesn't. It's literally make a friend code, connect in a lobby, wait for 5 minutes, connection broke, do it again, pick your party. It's ridiculous.
The
Just
worst
freaking
thing-
have it ready and set
The
up.
worst thing in the world is when you're in the middle of a battle and then connection drops.
Yeah, and you're just like,
then-
what the heck? It ruins the whole atmosphere.
Yeah, and then
So-
you have to come back, and then it doesn't, and then you have to start all over. It's dumb. I thought it was funny though because they released one of the last things was GoldenEye. GoldenEye is
Yes.
getting a revamp and it's going to go re-release, and then it goes GoldenEye coming 2023 with online play.
And everyone laughed because
And
it's
then
like,
everybody was like, "Oh, what
why?
online play?
Yeah.
Doesn't
Dude,
exist.
Your online play is garbage."
So, Video Game Donkey did a side by side of the state of play in the Nintendo
Oh,
Direct.
really?
It's such a
I
great
gotta
video
watch
because
that.
the state of play was like super like. It's a Sony state of play. Super interesting, super intense, fast paced, and
I haven't
everything.
watched a donkey video in a while.
Oh, it's so great. Nintendo Direct, even though he does exaggerate a little bit, literally a bunch of JRPGs that who the hell cares? Like, let's be honest, unless you
never
are a
heard of.
diehard Nintendo fan, no one freaking cares about this. And then the only two big announcements, Pikmin 4 and Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, which they finally titled it something different. I literally can't remember.
It's like it's like
It's Tales of something.
Tales of the Wind or Tales
Something
of
like that,
something.
yeah. So great, and they didn't even show gameplay of Pikmin 4, and they barely showed gameplay of Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild 2. Does not matter.
Give me another Mario game. Give me something.
Give me Odyssey. You know what? Odyssey 2. I'll take a like Return to Sunshine or something like that.
You know what I'm actually really surprised about? Give me another Star Fox.
Oh, they're holding on to that. We don't even know what Metroid Prime 4 when that's coming out.
Dude, if they would have been like a brand new Star Fox and it would have been like Rogue Squadron,
Yeah, something.
that would have been sick. I
But
would have been
they-
like, dude, yes. Oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, thank God. But also the Switch couldn't play Rogue Squadron,
The
so I
problem
mean it
with
wouldn't
Nintendo-
matter.
The problem with Nintendo is that people like me exist.
Well,
I still give $60 for Pokemon every year
But
it comes out.
here's the thing though, is that the other thing is that for the OLED, they specifically said, oh yeah, we updated the dock. So that way there's an actual 4K chip in the dock. So that way you can then plug
It's still
in your
not
Switch.
4K. I think it's like it's
It's up-res slightly.
It's up-res 1080 or something like
Yeah,
that.
but it's supposed to be a 4K chip. The only problem is that nobody's using it. There's
'cause it's
no
still handheld.
no developer is actually using it because it's so wonked. Not only that, but also any game that they put on it, they have to downgrade to put it on there. If they would have come out and then been like, very end of the show, just been like, and then Project so and so, the next generation.
No,
console.
Nintendo doesn't do that.
If they would have ended the show like that and then gone like, that's the end of the show, or anything else, that would have really sold the show.
The Switch will have another 8 years in the market. There's no reason
that's
to.
too long.
It's too no, yeah.
No,
But
it's too long.
how many people do you know that still play Smash Brothers Melee?
It doesn't matter.
It matters
no.
because that community still exists. Point being
but
is this.
Your community's dying.
Point being is this. When it comes to all these presentations and all these conventions that has happened over the last couple of days, right?
Yeah.
Started to notice a pattern because we talked about this, I think, last year around the same time. E3 canned. It's coming back, right?
It is
It's
coming
coming back.
Oh, is
but
it?
it is.
Oh, wow.
It's coming back, but it got canned, right? The biggest gripe with that was that a lot of people were saying that these presentations and these conventions, people are not understanding. The people that work behind the scenes here who are creating these and who are basically kind of mapping everything, they don't understand what the audiences want, right? D23 is an easy one to talk about because D23, we know, especially a lot of people know that your big titles are MCU and Star Wars, and you barely played on that. You talked a lot about the resort. Here's the thing. No one cares about the resort unless you are actively going to the resorts and want to see that. It's cool. San Fran Tokyo is coming to California Adventure
Yeah.
in
That's actually
2024.
pretty
Isn't
I don't know, something
Isn't
like that.
also Small World going bye-bye?
No, Splash Mountain is
Yeah,
being
there it is.
replaced with Princess and the Frog theme.
Yeah, it's getting a new skin basically.
Yeah. So what?
Yeah. Oh, it's
Oh,
so-
Small World.
Small World
Yeah.
is going
So
down for
again,
refurbishment.
only Disney heads would care about that, right? Ubisoft Forward and State of Play are two presentations that I felt were really good because it got the information out of the way, it gave us what we wanted to know, and then it pieced out.
Yeah.
It was like a 45-minute presentation.
That was it, right? Did you watch the Call of Duty Next?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bits and pieces of it. 'Cause
Okay.
There was a lot of them repeating themselves.
Yes. So I'm going to tell you this. Activision brought in 200 streamers from around the U.S. to basically come down here to California to try out Modern Warfare 2 early. Play the multiplayer, play the third-person mode, and play Warzone 2.
Dude, who the developers on this literally got all the like top first-person shooters and went, I want everything.
Yes. So here's the problem I have. The streamers got there early. They had to walk the green carpet for Mountain Dew. They had to, do interviews and stuff like that. They sat in a presentation for 2 hours before they even got to play the game. They were just sitting in front of the computers. I was watching Nick Merckx. He was getting pissed off. Cloaksy was also getting pissed off because they were all just like, what are we doing here sitting down, listening to these people talk about Call of Duty and not playing the game? We want to play the game. That's the thing.
They should have let them play it first, play like a round of Warzone 2.
Yeah.
Let them get like all versed in it and then go like, wow, that was awesome. And then go, this is everything we changed. Things that you probably didn't even find. These are things that you did see and everything else, but they didn't.
They didn't. It literally was just information. When you dissect the information, worthless, doesn't matter. Just give me the game. I'm not even interested in it at this point because it just looks kind of like unfinished, right? Nintendo Direct kind of has that big issue as well. The only thing is that it knows how to market itself to people a little bit better in the sense of announcing it the day before, getting people really excited for a day and not prolonging that excitement, then revealing a bunch of garbage and saying, you wanted something extra? Here is the title of the next big game that we're doing that's, a AAA title.
For Warzone, all they did was they got a lot of Tarkov. They got some stuff from Tarkov where it was like, oh yeah, you have to actually find health packs. You have to go.
I haven't even seen
find
the DMZ
armor.
version of it, so.
You haven't?
No, I'll watch it afterwards.
I'll just tell you what it is later.
Yeah, tell me afterwards. But to wrap up this issue, because we are running out of time,
Yeah.
I feel like conventions need
We
to
ran out
be.
of time like a minute and a half ago.
Yeah. So conventions need to change.
Yeah.
These conventions need to change because they're losing that interest, especially when everyone else is doing it.
The thing is that they used to be so good at it. I remember when I think the Xbox One first got announced.
Yeah.
And then they were just like 1, 2, 3. Like they were just hitting you with everything.
Yeah.
They were like, you know what? We're not even gonna talk. It's just gonna be trailers. That's it.
Companies got too comfortable.
Yeah, they did.
That's all it is. Did you even care about State of Play?
Just the God of War,
There you go.
Ragnarok. That was it. And then maybe like a update on Resident Evil
Yeah.
4, the remake.
Yeah, the remake.
Yeah.
That was it.
They need to pique interest a little bit more, get yourself invested. But Sony's unfair because right now no one's really on the side of Sony, especially with what's going on.
Because
so.
no one can get a new console. Right
Exactly,
now.
yeah.
So why would I care?
Yeah, that's the thing.
I'm gonna go buy an Xbox.
I have a PC.
Or a
I have
PC.
I have a PS5.
Guess what? My next investment is GPU. RIP EVGA again.
You said that in the beginning.
I know. I'm saying it again. I'm going to end it. RIP.
All right,
Rip.
well,
Okay.
wrap
Rip.
it up.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us at issue 115 of Keeping Up with the Nerds. Just a reminder, check us out on our website at keepingupwiththenerds.com. Following us on all our socials, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Listen to us on any audio platform, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Podbean. And if you guys want to watch us live alongside Our Real Addiction, check out our YouTube channel at Keeping Up with the Nerds. Don't forget to subscribe, ring that notification button. Let us know in the comments down below what kind of things you guys want us to hear us talk about in the next issue.
Cool.
Anything else I am missing?
Nope.
Oh my god. Are we ready to wrap this up then? Let's do it. This has been Keeping Up with the Nerds, issue 115. My name is Bryan.
And Nick.
Rene.
Signing off from Undercity Comics. We'll see you all next time.